The New York World's Fair of 1939. $60 million people from over 60 countries toured exhibits extolling the world of tomorrow. Several exhibits featured a new invention that would alter the world more than any other showcased at the fair: television. Although few people were watching, the television age dawned in the United States on April 30th, 1939, when NBC broadcast the president's opening remarks.
I hereby dedicate the World's Fair, the New York World's Fair of 1939, and I declare it open to all mankind.
Inside one pavilion, visitors were introduced to the new technology.
That's a television camera.
Holy smokes, does it work?
Of course. You go down there, Mr. Middleton. You can see and hear Bud on a whole row of television receivers.
You better be good.
John Brown toured the exhibit with his mother.
It was just absolutely amazing where you would stand under the cameras, they would take your picture in one room, and then you could see it in the other room and everything. And they said, you know, this is going to be something that we're going to have in every household soon. And I just couldn't believe it.
It was a totally new experience. You know, we had nothing to compare it to because you thought of it first as movies and then you realized it wasn't.
Now just act and talk naturally.
Oh, is it going?
It's on.
Hiya, folks. This is Clark Gable Middleton speaking. As you can see if you've got your television sets turned on.
What state are you from, Bud?
Indiana, the greatest state in the world. And if Grover Whalen's listening in, New York's okay, too.
Well, what do you think of the fair?
Well, as a guy I once studied about said, I came, I saw, and I'm almost conquered. How am I doing, Dad?
The 1939 World's Fair marked the beginning of commercial television broadcasts in America, 2 hours a week from NBC. But the United States was not the only country developing television technology.
Vision and sound are on. The station goes on the air.
In England, the British Broadcasting Corporation had begun airing programs 3 years earlier.
There's joy in store, the world is at your door. It's here for everyone to view. Conjured up in sound and sight by the magic rays of light that bring television to you.
You put all the lights off to watch it. You had a special room for it. It was a television room. You sat in chairs and watched it as you did at a cinema. It was an enormous thing. You had to put it in the corner of a room, and it stuck right out into the room. And of course, it was radio as well. It was a beautiful cabinet. A small screen, of course.
Further development of television slowed during World War II, but with peace in 1945, nations began to define different approaches to the new media. In Britain, television was thought of as a public service. The BBC was supported by fees from viewers. There were no commercials. In the Soviet Union, television was financed directly by the state. The first sets were provided by the government in the belief that television could help to build communism. But in the United States, television had become a business, financed by advertising. And in prosperous post-war America, most families could afford this new electronic marvel.
Ready for rehearsal. Quiet on the floor. All right, we're on 2.
They saw live drama.
Ready 1 on a 2 shot. Okay, open the sound effects, Mike. Cue him, Tommy.
Sports.
to the head, on left to the head, on right. I'm going to stretch a point.
And comedy variety shows.
So let's not have any fights anymore. Let's make up. I say? Let's make up.
I'm glad you said that. Make up!
By 1949, nearly 2 million families had purchased a television set. And in their advertising, manufacturers stressed the lofty expectations people had for the small screen.
RCA Victor Television will bring to many families opportunity for greater understanding. They will watch great historical events as they take place. They will see people from all parts of this land and others stating their opinions and explaining their ways of life.
Still, some had reservations about the power of television, including Winston Churchill on a visit to the United States.
This television, it's come to take its place in the world. As a rather an old-fashioned person, I have not been one of its principal champions, but I don't think it needs any champions. It can make its own way. And it's a wonderful thing, indeed, to think that every expression on my face at this moment may be viewed by millions of people throughout the United States. I hope the raw material is as good as the methods of distribution.